If you've ever been almost ran over by an 86-year-old woman in the Olive Branch Walmart parking lot, it was probably my grandmother. Today I'm going to be giving a tribute and dedication to my grandmother. She's a very amazing, wonderful, talented woman who has so many great qualities about her. I wish that I could tell you about every one of them, but unfortunately I can only tell you about a few. Today I'll be talking about her great cooking skills, her incredible artistic abilities, and the fact that she is still active in her everyday life at 86 years old. She learned her amazing cooking methods from her mother that was an Italian immigrant. She had all these old cookbooks growing up that she still uses today, and that's what we use most of the time whenever I was growing up and she was teaching me how to cook. One of the things that we would do together that I remember the most was making homemade pasta together. It was amazing. I've never had anything like it. Ever since then and now, I cannot go to any kind of Italian chain restaurant at all because I've been so spoiled from homemade Italian food. I couldn't have it any other way. She not only in Italian, she is great in any kind of cuisine. She taught me how to make our Thanksgiving and Christmas, traditional dinners that we still have today, and so I can be able to pass them down to my future generation of my family and my kids. One of my main things that I remember us making together as well was her famous Christmas cookies. I'm not a huge sweets person, but her cookies, I could eat them all day, every day. They're so great. I couldn't imagine being able to replicate them any better than her recipe only. Not only is she creative in the kitchen, she is also incredibly artistically creative and talented as well. Her mother also, she's such a great cook as well. She was an amazing artist as well, who also taught her how she does everything as well. She was specifically in her artistic ability, she is great at painting. I don't understand how she is so good at it. I guess it's just from all the practice that she had. She taught me how to be able to use paints correctly and how to mix them, how to use the brushes to their full capacity, and she has just been able to teach me everything that I know about art. And so she's just been great. She did it all throughout high school, and that was her main thing that she did in high school was painting. And so from all the pieces that she did whenever she was in school and growing up with her mother as well, we still have almost all of her pieces. I have this one really amazing piece of a bird that she did that is great, and I will keep it forever and pass it down to my family. Hopefully I'll be able to make it a focal point in my own house. I can't wait for that. But while she's still experienced in these other aspects as well, I cannot believe that she is still active in her everyday life as an 86-year-old woman, because most people, they're not at that age. She drives herself back and forth to the doctor's office, to the grocery store, to pay her bills, to go shopping, to do whatever her heart desires. She also works in her garden daily. Like I said, she, is very the typical Italian grandmother who cooks with all the tomatoes and the peppers and the herbs that she grows herself, and she tends to herself. And that, like I said, with being 86 years old, you don't see that very often. It's not very common. She learned how to be so independent from growing up with, raising her two children by herself whenever her husband died very early. She had, back in, in those days in like the 60s and the 70s, it was very common to have a husband to take care of all the financial responsibilities while the woman of the house took care of the kids, the cooking, the cleaning, and everything. So she did it all by herself. And so since then, from learning how to be so independent, she definitely has not let that fall away from her. She wouldn't imagine it any other way. She hates asking for help, and she won't unless you tell her, I'm going to help you, and you're going to accept it. So while she's pretty stubborn, she's not too stubborn. She'll always usually let me help her. To conclude my tribute, I have described all the reason how and why she has inspired me to be the woman that I am today. Her amazing cooking abilities, artistic abilities, and the fact that she is still active has definitely inspired me to be an amazing person like she is. I couldn't imagine having a better role model. And everyone deserves to have a family member like her, because I couldn't imagine my life without her. I'm glad that I got to share this with you guys today. Thank you.